Now we come to another part of the test, the number series. A number series is a series of numbers that follows a specific rule. In this part of the test, participants are expected to recognize the rule from the first 6 numbers in the series and then add the 7th number. What should you watch out for in solving the tasks? You have 25 minutes for the test and 22 series of numbers are given. From my own experience, I can say that the easier tasks are usually at the beginning. It is therefore advisable to start with them. But even if you get stuck, skip the task and continue with the next task so that you do not lose valuable time. You do not need any special math skills to solve the tasks. The basic arithmetic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division are sufficient. However, the rules are sometimes mixed or alternated. Especially with the tasks towards the end, it can happen that the rule does not refer to the next number, but to the next, or, in very rare cases, the number after that. However, these tasks are rather rare, so it is always advisable to first try to recognize a rule in relation to the next number. Smaller number differences usually indicate addition or subtraction, while large number differences can point to multiplication or division. In this test, the most important hint for answering is that any answer is better than no answer. There is no deduction for wrong answers, so use that to your advantage. Below, you can see an answer template. You will enter your answers here. The answers can be positive, negative, or even 0. The answer sheet is a big advantage for you. You can use it for checking your answer, as each digit can only appear once. So you will not enter your number in the correct order, but you will simply enter the digits and possibly the negative sign. Are you getting an answer that includes a number twice? This means you will have to do the math again. The same applies to decimal numbers, because the answer can only be given in whole numbers. So now you might be wondering, what is this test for, and how do you best prepare for it? This test examines your logical thinking skills and how fast you can recognize connection. It's important to say here that this means you can achieve success very quickly by practicing regularly, regardless of whether or not you were good at math in school. You can always practice the number series shortly before the test, so it's never too late to excel. It's also important to say here that this section does not require any language skills. This means that with a little practice and preparation, you have a really good chance of getting good results on the test without having to prepare for the language. Now we're going to discuss examples, light tasks, medium tasks, and hard tasks. But you can be sure that most of the tasks on the exam will be easy or medium tasks. Before we start with the first example, the best thing to do is to get a piece of paper and a pen to help you think along with the tasks. Also, in the test, you will have test paper on which you can make some notes. We recognize that this first example has small numbers. And as we heard earlier, if there are small differences between numbers, this should mostly be based on either addition or subtraction. Since the numbers get bigger, this is addition. A multiplication by 2 would also be possible from the first to second number, but after that, this rule can no longer be continued. So we recognize the rule of plus 3 to the next number, and then we can add 3 to 18 and come to our solution of 21. In the second example, we have small number differences again. Here too, we have a reference to addition or subtraction, but now there is a special feature. The numbers do not keep getting higher or lower, but alternate. This could indicate an alternate rule. Let's see if we can come up with something. From 12 to 14, we have plus 2. From 14 to 8, we have a difference of 6. From the 8 to 10, again, the rule is plus 2. And so this continues. Plus 2 and minus 6 alternate here. We now know the missing rule from the 6th to the 7th number. So add minus 6 and arrive at our solution 0. This is also compatible with the arc, because 0 is also a possible solution. In our third example, we now have larger differences, but you shouldn't be fooled because that doesn't always point to multiplication. In the first step, we have a difference of 55. In the second step, however, the mixed calculation is added, a multiplication by 2. A difference of 49 could also be assumed here, but this would not be further confirmed in the following numbers. The third step again contains a difference of 55. So here we have a change of subtraction by 55 and multiplying by 2. This kind of alternation between minus and plus, or minus and multiplication, or plus and divided tasks occur quite often in the test. This is why this type of task will continue to accompany us throughout this video. So as you can see, at the end we add 2 times to the rule and get our result of 62, which is again possible according to the arc. Now we come to a middle task. If we take a closer look at the numbers, we have small differences at the beginning and large differences towards the end. This can indicate a rule within a rule. Let's take a closer look at the numbers. First of all, a difference of 1. This is followed by a difference of 3, and then 9, and then 27, and then 81. So in this type of task, it's very important to take notes, because we see that the rule alone, as the relationship between the numbers, is not enough for us to solve this problem. There is a relationship within the rule here. The difference is always multiplied by 3, so the last point of our rule is minus 243, which is 81 times 3, giving us a result of minus 73. So on our answer sheet, we tick the minus, the 3, and the 7. Here's another middle example. First, we should look at the differences. At first, we see rather small differences and then large differences as the process progresses. But we see that 7 times 2 would add up to 14, not 13. It's the same with 13 times 2, which would add up to 26 instead of 25. This means that we also have a combined calculation rule here. This happens rarely, but 1 or 2 tasks of this type are represented every time on the test. So, as a rule, we can say that we have multiplication by 2, but that's not all, because a number is still deducted. So, as a rule, we will say x multiplied by 2 minus 1. And so we come to our result of 385 and see that this is also possible again in the arc, in which you tick the 3, 5, and 8. Now we come to another example. If you have made it this far, you will be able to solve most of the tasks in the test well. However, the key to success is speed, because you have just under 1 minute per task in the test, and you always need to remember to transfer your answers directly to the answer sheet after the task has been solved. If we take a closer look at this series of numbers, we see that the differences are again not particularly large here. It's important also that we see here an alternation of increasing and decreasing numbers. Let's think about the possibilities for the first step. It's either division by 3 or addition with 8. It is important that you always write down all of this. This is important for the next steps. So if we go on to the next steps, we realize that an alternating number pattern can be seen here again. What is special, however, is that between minus 4 and 3, you have an addition with 7, and the 1 and minus 6 have a subtraction of 7. This means that the sign has been changed here. In the last step, from the 6th to 7th number, the sign is changed, and again you add 7, so that you get the solution of 5. Now we come to the difficult tasks. We look again closely at the series of numbers and consider the differences. And here too, we can see that there's an alternate in increasing and decreasing the numbers. This again indicates a rule within a rule. We go through the possibilities from minus 18 to 4. There is only the possibility to add 22. The next step is subtraction by 2 or division by 2. In the next step, there is again only the option of adding 21, and so you go on. Now you must realize that for the last rule, divided by 2 is calculated because, as in the previous task, it is divided and alternated. And we come to our answer of 3. Now we come to a task that somewhat exceeds the basic arithmetic operations, but I'm sure you can solve this too. we look again at the differences and what possibilities there are. And so we come to a rule of +1, -4, +9, -16, +25. We can see that the signs have been alternated again, so we know that a minus will now follow. Now to consider what we are subtracting. Let's take a close look at what kind of sequence of numbers it is. We are now seeing exponential behavior that you may also know from school, but there's no cause for alarm. Such tasks are really the very last tasks and rather rare but still solvable. 1 to the power of 2 is 1, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, and 3 to the power of 2 is 9. Therefore, we know something. So 6 to the power of 2 is missing. In this case, -36, and then we arrive at our result of -19, which is compatible with the arc on the answer sheet. Now, to wrap up the video, we come to the last difficult task type. We see here that it is not possible to see a rule for the next number. If you get stuck, it is now worthwhile to look at the next by 1 number, and then recognize a division by 3 and a subtraction by 22. Then we come to our solution of -2. This is also compatible with our arc for the answer sheet, and now you are familiar with the most difficult types of tasks. I wish you all the best in the test. Stay tuned, practice hard, and you will get good results.